Okay, where are we, guys? We are on general ledger module, and what we were doing, we were uh, we were on ledger schemes, right? And accrual schemes, right? General
Which is
Yes.
accrual schemes. Yeah. Sorry, which is our entity? Tech Mahindra. Okay. So this we yesterday we just configured, right? Any doubts on this configuration? Okay. So fine. So we'll just try to post one accrual scheme. Okay, this one yesterday we just this was not worked yesterday, right? So might be some refresh issue. Let's delete this one. Let me create new one. Accrual schemes lines. And what was we were posting? So some rent expenses. The rent expenses. And give some home or some marketing or something. And accruals. How much amount? Let's keep 12,000. It will be easy for you to know. So take it on. So date, let's take it on January 1st. Okay. And offset account, rent offset account. What would be the rent offset account, guys? Accrual. What is the accrual entry would be? Suppose if it in terms of rent expense, rent expense account data to your prepaid rent expense, right? Some prepaid other expenses I'll take. Guys, this entry is also important, so as an accountant, so as a consultant, you also should be aware of the, so what would be the entry transaction. Okay. And then, so here, just as soon as you complete this transaction, just go to ledger accruals, go here, rent expense. Okay. Offset, no, so let it be account. This is the control account, right? Okay. And 12,000 rent expenses. Just check the transaction if you have any doubts here. Okay. You can see here, right? One is rent expenses and other one is your prepaid rent expenses, right? Okay. You can just so see the accounts as well. This looks fine. And so from January to till December, entries got posted, entries got created. Okay, you can see the so debit and credit entries for the each and every month. Okay, so this one I'll say okay, this looks fine, and then I'll validate it. Now I'll post this journal. Okay, now so if you want to see the voucher also, you can see the voucher. See, this is the voucher. 12,000 of your rent expenses. If you want to see your actual transactions, you can see here. Okay, you can see here, which is your every month it's get calculated. You can see here rent expense account data to your prepaid other expenses account, right? Each and every month, so the transactions got created, and when actual comes, so you have to reverse this one and you have to post the actual ones. Okay.
Okay.
Any doubts, guys, on the accrual side?
Rashekar, just have one doubt.
Hmm.
we can't make it automatic, like whenever the date
Ah,
comes, or like
good
every month
question.
first only it has to be get reversed, like that we can do.
Good question. Good question. Yeah. So see here, you have option called reverse entry. Okay, and release date and reverse entry and reverse date. If you just click here, see here you have option here, reverse entry and reverse date. So whenever you want to reverse this transaction, and so you can keep the date here. Okay, if you keep the date here, so that particular date this transaction get reversed automatically. Okay, you no need to, so you no need to every month do it manually. Okay, so you have option to reverse this transaction automatically as well. Okay.
Rashikar, I have
Yeah.
one question.
Huh.
Um, when you created from January, why it has taken for all these 12 months?
That is what accrual scheme you have created here, right, Sayed? See here, what is your accrual scheme says? There is your lecture accrual schemes. What you have defined here?
Okay, 12 months.
Huh.
If
This
we
is what.
define here, if we define here as a 1 month, then it will
Hmm.
create for only 1 month, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, Rashikar, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So clear, guys. On the accrual side, this is important, guys. So in your every interview, they definitely touch this question. What is accruals? Can anyone explain me what is accrual theoretically and system level?
Oh no, it's like looking of future transactions.
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
It's a booking of any transaction which is identified but not yet received or paid.
Hmm.
It's called an accrual. To post an accrual, first we have to create an accrual scheme where we have to define the uh, periods, right? And then we have to create a journal for that one. And in that journal, we have to give a debit and credit offset account for the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and so also so that is what I explained, guys. If you just explain them theoretically, they don't satisfy. So they expect you as a consultant, and so they'll expect consultant answer. Okay, so if you just stop there, you are just so end user. If you still continue to explain this accrual scheme, then you will be so then they'll think that so, okay, you worked as a consultant.
For
Okay.
example, how to give an answer to them, Rashika?
See, so continuation to your answer. Okay. So in this system, you should start with in the system. So as a consultant, so we have to define accrual scheme. So for the so as per the client requirement, we used to define accrual scheme for 12 months, or so 6 months, and so how they wanted to run this every month, starting or ending. Okay, so then so I'm going to so explain to user. Okay, so how to run accrual scheme. Understood?
Yep.
Yeah. So simple, guys. Accrual scheme is nothing but so you are going to identify your future expenses, and then you're going to book the expenses, future expenses, in the current month or current year. And that how you would define as a consultant. You are going to configure accrual scheme. This is so configuration of accrual scheme, and explain to my end user how to select my accrual schemes, ledger accruals, how to book my accrual schemes. Okay, this is how so interviewer expect your answers. Okay, once you start practicing, you'll just, you can understand even more better. If you start practicing complete the scenarios, then you will be in a position to explain them. Okay, but so this is what theoretically, so this is what actually what is, so accrual scheme. When it comes to the system, as a consultant, these all are the setups I do. And then, so at the time of UAT sessions, I explain to users, okay, so how to create, or so how to select, or how to create, how to generate accrual schemes. Okay, if you tell this much answers, they'll very much satisfy, and they'll not ask further more questions on this. Okay, so every question, guys, every question, so all the accounting questions only they'll ask, but as a consultant you have to explain them in the dynamics language. Okay, understood, guys? Many of the, so institutes, they do this mistake. Okay, they don't explain this one, so they just, so tell their students to, just go ahead and, so explain the theoretical way, but that doesn't work. Okay, so when, so you can show, when you can, so impact on the interviews, so when you explain the system perspective, not like theoretical way. Okay, okay, clear, guys? Clear on the accrual side? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir, I have one
Rashikar.
doubt here.
Great. Okay, so now
Sir,
accruals, yeah.
the same Afanda will be used for the provisions also, right? The accrual
Yes,
scheme?
provisions. You see, what is your provisions? Provisions for your budgets, and provisions for your different expenses or future losses you're going to define, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, accruals, so is nothing but your provisions only. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So now let's move on to some intercompany postings. What is this intercompany postings, guys? Any idea? Can anyone explain me? What is intercompany posting?
Expenses or whatever the transactions related to the company internally, if I'm not wrong.
Anything like in between the entities, like main entity to sub like parent company to uh, parent company to child company, like that. It will be there, Asheka, like internally, or like any incomes that we have earned it, so that internally we will be moving that amount to different teams or something like that.
Right. That's right, guys. See, you all are good in the conceptual wise. Okay. So when interviewer ask, so you can explain this, so answers, so but what is intercompany transactions? But, so I have two different companies, so company entity A and a legal entity A and legal entity B. So when there is a expense, or, so when there is, so cost I paid behalf of, so my other company, so I don't keep track of in my books, in my entity A books, I always, so my book should be clear, and I always should have, so cost whatever I incurred for my current company, or my, so my present company, not for the other companies, right? For that, so what we do, so every month, or, so every time when we made expenses or transactions, when we made it payments for the other entities, okay, so we are going to transfer that expenses to my intercompanies, and I'll get payment from my intercompanies. Okay, intercompanies also, so become, so some intercompany vendors.
Rashikar, come again. Can you explain once again?
Okay. See, suppose whenever, so I have entity A and entity B. Okay, just a minute. I have taken Techem is nothing but your software only, and Techem Mahindra Auto. Finance. I have these three legal entities. Okay, these all are the three legal entities. Legal entity 1, legal entity 2, legal entity 3. Okay, suppose, so I have given, so I have made these two departments, Mahindra Auto and Mahindra Finance. These two are in same building. Just for example, okay, in the Bangalore office, so these two offices in the same building. One is in the first floor, one is in the second floor. Okay, and so Mahindra Auto, so they have paid rent behalf of Mahindra Finance. Some 30,000. Overall, it's a 30,000 he paid, but so it's a 15,000 for related to this Mahindra Finance floor as well, right? In this case, I can't keep track of 30,000 in my books. I need to track only 15,000. I need to track only 15,000 as my rent, right? And this is so different legal entity. I don't want to so track in my books. Okay, this is the separate so the cost which is related to different legal entity, L3 legal entity. In this case, intercompany transactions will arise. Okay, you're going to charge back this 15,000. You're going to charge back to your Mahindra Finance legal entity, and you will collect from these people and from the other entity, and the actual rent you are going to show only 15,000 in your books. Okay, clear? Clear, guys?
Rashikar, but for accounting concept, it's not. We cannot do like this, right? We have
How
to
you do?
show
How you do accounting
in
entry?
accounting concept. Obviously, what we do is first rent has to be showed as a 30,000, and the in each books. For example, Mahindra Auto 30,000 we have to show, and Mahindra Finance 25,000 we have to show, and then the difference amount we have to show in the entries, right?
See, Sayed, so don't come, so that work around. Okay, this is very straight case. Okay, see, suppose you've already created your accruals. Okay, so for the accruals you have created for the both legal entities. That is still fine. Okay,
Okay.
whenever though you have created your accruals, okay, so for some reasons, so for some reasons or for due to some circumstances, your Mahindra Auto has made your rent, or so just not rent, so some different expenses they have made. Okay, some admin expenses, or so some different expenses they have made. Okay, in that case, you don't keep, just try to understand the concept, so whatever the expenses you just book, or so whatever the expenses you made, you paid against so your other legal entity, you have to charge back them. The concept of legal and so intercompany transaction, it's not just rent, so rent though you have accrued, so for some instances, so they might so pay. Okay,
All right.
yeah. Any further questions, guys?
Rashika, this you said about the rent. Okay. What if legal entity 3 has given us some auto parts, and the legal entity 3 has to pay the rent? Then it will come in a different way.
See, the concept is same. Though so legal entity 3 has paid, though so legal entity 2 has paid, though so legal entity 1 has paid, the concept is same. Whatever the expenses you paid behalf of the other entity, you have to transfer them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's move on to so the setup level. So there are some setups required for so legal and for intercompany transactions. Okay, you have intercompany accounting here. Just go to intercompany. Sorry. Okay, just go to your intercompany setups. So before you just go ahead and post the intercompany transactions, you should have this intercompany accounting setups. Okay, you can see here, guys, so there are different, okay, so combination is there. Okay, so how this intercompany works, so whenever you just transfer your the amounts, okay, so whenever you transfer your transactions, so you should have the combination here, so that system read, okay, so this legal entity already been defined, and so I can so transfer these amounts, so this relation should have before we, okay, before we post any of the legal entity, or so intercompany transfer. I am going to transfer from TechM to let me get this. I'll take this account. There is so some accounts so needs to be created, intercompany receivables account, this is, and then intercompany payables account, intercompany payables accounts. Okay, so and your destination entity, which is your destination entity, I'll take ALS. ALS is my destination entity, I'll share trading, and then I'll give some accounts, same accounts I'll give. This is receivables and payable accounts. Okay. And also, so some intercompany journals required, guys, so just there is intercompany journals. Here you have intercompany journals, right? You can take this intercompany journal, save it. Okay, so I have so created so my setups are fine. This is all so payment related. Okay, so centralized payment will cover at the so payment level. Okay, so now so my setups are done. So what I have done, so I have given my relation with the TechM to ALS, I'll share trading. So these two are the different entity which I am operating, and this is my child entity where I'm going to so paid some rent, or so paid some expenses behalf of Alshia. Now we'll see so how to create, or so how to transfer these funds to my other entity. Okay.
Rajshekar,
Yeah.
the debit account for originating company and destination company should be the same.
Yes, so this as per so your client requirement, guys. So if your client want different accounts, you can use different account. These two are different legal entities, right? Two different legal entities, and
okay.
yeah, accounts I have taken so receivables and payables accounts. But if your client want so different accounts they wanted to use, so you can use different accounts as per their instructions. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so now let me go ahead and post some intercompany journals. Okay, I'll click new. Just see here there is no intercompany journals. Let me create one intercompany journals. Intercompany journals. Okay, so this would be daily only. Intercompany journals might so you post so daily basis also. Just give some voucher. Just keep it at your company level. The company. Just keep it continuous. Okay, save this one and take this name and attach to your journal. I will save it. Close this one. Take your intercompany journals and go to lines. Here, if you see here, guys, so there are two entities you have here. Okay. You can see here, this is your company entity. Okay, this is your company entity, and also you have here offset entity, offset company or entity. You can, so whenever you post the transactions or so intercompany transactions, these two will be changed. Suppose I'm going to make a rent or any expenses. I am just taking rent as a so example. Intercompany transfer. Okay, how much? I'm going to make some 15,000. Okay, and here the entity I'm going to change. So I'm going to change my Alche. Okay, so here I'll take some bank or so some other intercompany account also I can take. I'll take some direct bank also here. Some home, some trade sorts. I'll save this one. Okay, and I'll validate it. What is it? Account number for transaction type intercompany accounting. Okay, so ALS offset company. I've done already, right? Okay, create reciprocal. Journal name for intercompany. Okay, and then here also I'll take, where is my, we just created, right? Again. Take accounts we have given. Another one is here. Cannot create it, already exist. Where is this Takam? Takam is there. Just create reciprocal as well. Okay, so save this one. Journal name. Okay, so for the both journals are available now. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see now. Account number for transaction type intercompany does. I'll just delete this one. Let me create new journal if it is, sometimes. So I'll take TechM only and ledger sum. And expenses, home, trade shows. Okay. The amount is some. Here the company you have to change, right? Change it to Alshare. Take some account here. Okay, save this. Similar to stuff. Account number for transaction type intercompany accounting does not exist. We have here. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll take it for different entity. Take him to so just take intercompany receivables. Intercompany payables. Okay, so destination company I'll take USSI. Okay, and then I'll take some intercompany journal and same way create reciprocal. It will work out. So let me try to post some USSI entity. I'll take some. Let it be taken. Then I'll give some rent expense. For some 15,000 and then select some here need to be changed the USSI. I'll take some bank here. Okay, so now I'll save this one. Let me validate this. Here. So number for transaction type. When it comes to see here always, so your your intercompany transfer, so you are crediting to your other entity, right? So that is why it is not, so considering. Okay, now this is fine. Okay, understood, guys. The mistake what we did. You're transferring, right? You're transferring to your other legal entity, but you're trying to post, so you're debiting to your other company. But when you're selecting the bank here, other way around, so you should be keep it is in credit level only. Okay. So now let me post. Okay, so you can see the vouchers here. So this is your Techem voucher. This is your Techem voucher. Your intercompany receivables is crediting, and so your expense is debiting, crediting here. Okay, and other entity vouchers, how it looks, so you can see related vouchers also. As soon as I click here, so it will take me to other related entity. You can see this is other voucher entity. You can see here your bank is debiting and your intercompany payable is crediting. Okay, this is how it works, guys. Okay, so also so we'll try that R entity, how why this is not worked, so same way we'll just try that also. I'll take some intercompany journal only. So here I'll take some admin expense. So I'll take some extraordinary expense. Okay. No, actually, so I'll close this one. This is entity has been changed, guys. You can see here. As soon as I go here, so entity has been changed. I'll take to Techem. In the Techem entity, I'll post one intercompany again. Go to lines. Ledger, I'll post some expenses. I'll post some entertainment expenses. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so what I'll do, I have selected my expenses, and then so I'll give some. I'll give it under 20,000. Okay, and I'll change my entity to ALS. Okay, so I'll save this one. Let me validate this. Now this is also working fine. Okay, so you can just post this intercompany transaction. Guys, it's just nothing but you are transferring your expenses, that's it. Okay, you can see here your entertainment expenses, so you have been transferred to your other entity. Okay, you can also see here you can also see your related vouchers here. Okay, so this is other related ALS voucher. Okay, how it looks like. Okay, also if you want, so you can change it to here only the entity, the first one you can take it. I'll keep it here and I'll take my intercompany journals. I'll give it to some ALS here, some expenses, some electricity expense. I'll take electricity expense. It shows transfer, changing company accounts to take. Okay, fine. Yeah, system is giving some notification, changing company accounts to TechM here. So I'll give some 5,000. Here I'll give my bank or something. We'll try other way around also, we'll see. See, now so you're transferring from ALS to TechM, right? So this is other way around entry. You can see now, you can post this transaction. And I'll see the voucher. You can see here the voucher, so your intercompany receivables and your bank account, so whatever the transaction you have seen in your, so past company, you can see that now. Okay, also, so if you want to see the related voucher, you can see it here. Okay, this is, so ALS entity. Clear, guys? Any doubts? If you want to see who has posted this one, so you can click on the audit trail. So when it has been posted, who created, what time it's been created. Okay, description and all this information, audit trail. These all you can get it in audit trail. Okay. Any further questions, guys, on the intercompany journals? So
No,
when there is a question arrives in the interview level, what would be your answer? Guys, what would be your answer? Intercompany. Suppose what is intercompany payments transfers?
So it's all about transfer of expenses to one entity to another entity. Exactly. Between the company.
Right. So you as I mentioned, you shouldn't stop there. Okay. It's a transfers between the one legal entity to other legal entities for the charges or expenses, other stuff. And as a consultant, what we do, so we are going to define my intercompany setups. And so I'm going to define my intercompany relation between one entity to other entity. Then at the transaction level, so we are going to select the two different entities in the same transaction. Okay, that should be your answer.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Clear, guys? Any further questions?